All right, so we've got a pretty interesting collection of stuff to go through today, huh? You've sent in like a YouTube video about OpenAI, some articles too, and even a few social media posts just to get a sense of what people are saying out there. I guess the big question is, is this AI revolution everyone's talking about, is it real or is this just hype? And what should we actually be paying attention to?
Yeah, well, that's the million-dollar question, right? Figuring out what's actually a breakthrough and what's just, marketing. A good place to start, though, I think, is with OpenAI's O3 model. It's been making headlines with some pretty impressive results, like in benchmarks across a bunch of different tasks.
Yeah, and the video we have really digs into that, those benchmarks. And honestly, some of it is pretty mind-blowing. Like O3 is doing things like software engineering, coding, even like advanced math and science stuff,
Yeah.
stuff that normally you'd need a PhD for. And the improvements, like over older models, it's crazy. Sometimes like double or even triple the accuracy.
Yeah, and it's not just how many things it can do, it's the depth of the problem solving. That's what's really wild. I mean, for example, O3 is solving complex math problems, like cutting edge research stuff, the kind that would take a whole team of mathematicians days or weeks to figure out. And it's not just about number crunching. It seems like it's actually understanding the math on a deeper level.
So, I mean, are we saying it's like pushing the boundaries of what we thought AI could even do in math? Like, is it actually, contributing new mathematical knowledge, or is it more like applying what we already know just in a super efficient way?
That's a debate, actually, even in the research community. People are arguing about that. But the really cool thing is O3 isn't just good at, numbers and stuff. It's also great at things that need visual reasoning and pattern recognition. The kind of stuff that AI has traditionally been pretty bad at. There are even some visual tests where it's actually outperforming the average human.
Okay, see, that's where it gets really interesting to me. Like, the video showed some examples of those visual puzzles, and it's almost like watching the AI, see and understand the world the way we do. What does that even mean for us? Like, what other fields where humans are dominant could this kind of visual AI disrupt?
I mean, it's opening up a lot of possibilities, that's for sure. Imagine AI systems that can analyze medical images, more accurately than human doctors, or designing buildings, super complicated structures, or even creating art that's as good as what human artists make.
Okay, but before we get too carried away with all that, the video did mention one big catch. Apparently running O3, like the actual cost of doing that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's amazing what it can do, but the cost is a huge roadblock. We're talking potentially thousands of dollars just to do one task, which means it's not practical for most real world stuff.
So is this more like a research project for now, like a glimpse into the future of what AI could be, but not something that's going to, change our lives immediately?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, the cost definitely puts things in perspective. It makes you wonder if this kind of AI power is only going to be available to the people with a ton of money, or if there's a way to make it more efficient and affordable down the line.
Right, and that kind of leads into something else. We have an article here about how OpenAI and Microsoft, like how they define AGI, artificial general intelligence, and they've tied achieving AGI to money, basically, to hitting $100 billion in profit.
It is, yeah. Tying AGI to profit potential, that's definitely interesting. It raises all sorts of questions does this mean OpenAI is shifting gears, focusing more on, stuff they can actually sell rather than pure research?
I mean, it makes sense, right? Especially with how much Microsoft has invested in OpenAI.
Yeah.
But still, it feels weird to put a dollar amount on something like AGI. Is it even realistic, or is this just like a PR move to keep investors happy?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The article actually points out that right now, OpenAI is losing money, a lot of money, billions of dollars a year. And they don't expect to turn a profit for quite a while. So yeah, huge difference between where they are now financially and that $100 billion goal.
So huge gap there. What does that tell us about the timeline for AGI? At least, based on their definition. Are we talking years, decades, or is it even possible to say?
Tough to say, really. But the article, it does mention that a lot of those losses are because, developing and training these advanced AI models, it takes a ton of computing power.
Yeah.
If they can figure out how to make those processes more efficient, that could speed things up for sure.
Which brings us to something else I found really interesting. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he was on social media recently, asking people what they want to see from OpenAI, in 2025. And his responses to some of the suggestions were pretty revealing.
Yeah, I saw that. Smart move, I thought. It gives you a little peek into what they might be prioritizing based on, what people are actually asking for.
Exactly. Some people were asking for like everyday stuff, things that would make AI easier to use and interact with. Like a voice assistant that actually remembers past conversations, or user interfaces that are more intuitive, AI tools that just, fit seamlessly into our lives.
Yeah, definitely areas where AI could have a huge impact. I mean, imagine having an AI assistant that actually gets you, knows your preferences, what you need, even before you ask, or like a writing tool that helps you express yourself, more clearly.
Oh, and there was this one comment that really stuck with me. Someone asking for AI that can remember previous conversations, like even voice chats. I mean, think about it. How often do we have to like repeat the same information over and over or start from scratch every time we talk to a chatbot or a voice assistant?
Exactly. It highlights a big challenge in AI development, creating systems that can actually remember, keep track of context, and personalize things over time. And Altman's responses, they seem to suggest that, they're taking that feedback seriously.
Makes me think about the bigger picture. We've been focusing on OpenAI, but they're not the only ones doing this stuff, right?
Sure.
We've got news about other companies and projects, pushing the boundaries of AI.
Totally, yeah. The field's moving so fast. There's innovation happening everywhere. Like X.AI, they're testing a standalone app for their Grok chatbot. Looks like they're really focused on that, giving people a more personalized AI experience.
And we can't forget DeepSeek V3, right? The open source language model, it's making a lot of noise in the AI world, challenging the big players, like OpenAI and Google.
Yeah, the open source stuff, that's really exciting, I think. It could mean that, more people have access to AI, more developers and researchers can like contribute and build things. Could lead to a much more diverse AI ecosystem.
Then there's Google, right? They've been in the AI game for years,
Hmm.
and it looks like they're finally getting ready to like bake AI
Yeah.
right into their products. Like
Yeah.
they were talking about an AI mode for Google search, which is a pretty big deal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Google search, think about how many people use that every single day. Putting AI right in there could completely change how we find and use information online.
So we're seeing all this competition now, all this diversity in the AI world. Is that like a good thing for the future of AI? Or will it end up, with all these different systems that can't talk to each other, that don't work together?
It's a bit of both, I think. The competition, it definitely pushes everyone to innovate, leads to faster progress, more options. But yeah, it could also create these silos where different AI systems, they can't communicate, they can't work together effectively.
It's kind of like we're at a crossroads, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, we've got these incredible advancements, AI doing things we never thought possible. But on the other hand, there's still these big challenges, the cost, the ethics of building super powerful AI.
And the impact it's already having, right? In the real world, we've got all these examples of that, all these different applications.
Yeah, you're right. Like we've got this online charter school in Arizona. It's entirely taught by AI.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, right? Compared to how we usually think about education.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what's the future of education going to look like? Can AI actually personalize learning, give each student like a customized education? Or will it make learning, I don't know, less human?
And then there's the hardware side of things. Asus is releasing a PC that's like built for AI, you know. And Meta's Ray-Ban glasses, they're getting a display in 2025, so maybe augmented reality is going to become like a normal thing.
It shows you how AI is like creeping into everything,
Mhm.
Our devices, how we experience the world, it's changing fast, and AI is right at the center of it.
Oh, and we can't forget the robots, right? There's an article about this humanoid robot from China. It can do these like insane acrobatics. It's a reminder that AI isn't just about, code and algorithms. It's changing the physical world too.
Yeah, robots and AI, that's a fascinating area. It makes you think about the future of work,
Uh,
automation and whether AI-powered machines are going to start doing jobs that only humans could do before.
It's a lot, isn't it? All this AI stuff happening. Education, healthcare, entertainment, you name it. It's clear that AI it's not science fiction anymore. It's here. It's changing our lives, and we need to be paying attention.
For sure. And it's exciting, but we can't just ignore the potential downsides. AI is getting more powerful, more widespread. So we need to be careful, think about what it means for society, for the economy, even for us as individuals.
It's a lot to think about for sure. I mean, it feels like we're on the verge of something big with all this AI stuff happening, but it's not all, good, right? There's some real concerns here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the potential is huge. We've talked about that, all the good things AI could do, but the risks are real too. We can't just, charge ahead without thinking about the consequences.
It's funny, this whole conversation, it's making me think of this sci-fi book I read a while back. AI got so smart, so advanced that it started, making decisions for humans. And well, it didn't always go so well. Is that like a real possibility, something we should actually be worried about, or is that still, just fiction?
Well, it's important to, separate science fiction from what's actually happening in AI right now. I mean, we're nowhere near creating AI that can, like, really think for itself like a human. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be thinking about these things, right? As AI gets more powerful, more independent, we need to make sure it's aligned with our values, with what we want.
So what can we do then? I mean, are there actual steps we can take to make sure AI is developed responsibly?
Mhm.
Like, are there ethical guidelines or maybe even laws we can put in place to, prevent things from going wrong?
There's definitely a lot of work happening on that front, yeah. Within the AI community, there's a real push to address the ethical side of things. Researchers, developers, even policymakers are all, trying to work together to figure out frameworks for responsible AI, making sure AI decisions are transparent, getting rid of bias in algorithms, protecting people's privacy, that kind of stuff.
Sounds like a lot to figure out, but it's good to know at least that these conversations are happening, right? But I want to, talk back to our listeners for a second. What are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, we've covered a lot of ground, right? The technical stuff, the potential benefits, the risks, all of it. But at the end of the day, the future of AI, it's really going to depend on how we choose to use it. It's up to all of us to stay informed, to talk about these things, and to, you know, demand that AI is developed in a way that benefits humanity.
We've just scratched the surface today, but hopefully this deep dive has given you, a better sense of just how complex and fast moving this whole AI world is.
Yeah.
The main thing to remember is AI isn't some far off future anymore. It's here. It's already changing things, and it's definitely something we all need to be paying attention to.
Absolutely. So yeah, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep exploring this stuff. The future of AI is it's being written right now, and we all have a part to play in shaping it.